As we are learning this breaking news that former CNN anchor Don Lemon has been arrested. Here's what we're learning. This is from Bill Mallusion with Fox News saying, per multiple law enforcement sources, former CNN anchor Don Lemon was arrested by federal agents in Los Angeles this morning in connection to the storming of a church in Minnesota by anti-ICE agitators. We also do have some more social media posts as well that we'll put up on your screen here for you. But once again, as we just read there, this comes after Lemon followed and spoke to demonstrators who disrupted a church service in a video he posted to his YouTube channel. The New York Post also reporting that it is not immediately clear what charges he is facing at this time. This comes after former CNN host Don Lemon said during an interview last week that the Trump administration would go around a judge or retrofit a law to prosecute him after he followed agitators into a St. Paul, Minnesota church earlier this month. Also last week, a federal magistrate judge rejected the Justice Department's attempt to bring charges against Lemon. Lemon said that he needed to be in it for the long haul as well as keep calm and carry on. Lemon said after the DOJ called him out that he was just covering the protest and that it was an act of journalism. The agitators went to disrupt the service at St. Paul's City's church because they believed a pastor at the church had collaborated with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So once again, we are bringing you this breaking news here. As we do know, Don Lemon arrested after that protest that disrupted that church service there in Minnesota. Now, we also do know that we heard from Homan a bit earlier this week as well. Immigration operations continuing in Minnesota. Just yesterday in White House Borders are Tom Homan's first briefing after taking over Operation Metro Surge, and he said they're working on a drawdown plan for federal agents in Minnesota, but it depends on cooperation with state and local officials. And this comes after Homan said he's had conversations with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, the Minnesota Department of Corrections, Minnesota Attorney General, and other county sheriffs and local officials. And he said cooperation with local authorities, especially jails and prisons, will give federal agents better access to people in the United States illegally. This would then lead to fewer federal law enforcement on Minnesota streets. Homan said the drawdown plan of federal agents depends on cooperation and targets they have left to find. As for the number of federal agents in Minnesota, as of just yesterday, Homan would not provide a number. Previously, court records show there were more than 3,000 federal agents in the state as part of Operation Metro Surge. So this is some breaking news here, and we are actually working behind the scenes here to bring you some more information. New info from AP. All right, so my producer, I don't know if you just heard her, she just handed me an article. We're getting some new information here. So let me just read this. This is according to the Associated Press. A journalist, Don Lemon, has been arrested after he entered a Minnesota church and recorded anti-immigration enforcement protesters who disrupted a service in an incident that increased tensions between residents and the Trump administration. And that's according to his lawyers putting this out today. Lemon was taken into custody by federal agents in Los Angeles, where he had been covering the Grammy Awards. That's according to his attorney, Abby Lowell. It's unclear what charge or charges he is facing in the January 18th protest. The arrest came after a magistrate judge last week rejected prosecutors' initial bid to charge him. And Lemon, who was fired from CNN in 2023, has said he has no affiliation to the organization that went into that church and that he was there as a journalist chronicling protesters. And we also do have this post here I'd want to read to you. This is from, again, Abby Lowell, his attorney, saying, quote, Don has been a journalist for 30 years, and his constitutionally protected work in Minneapolis was no different than what he has always done. The First Amendment exists to protect journalists whose role is to shine light on the truth and hold those in power accountable. A prominent civil rights attorney and at least two other people involved in the protests were arrested last week. Prosecutors have accused them of civil rights violations for disrupting a service at the city's church in St. Paul, where a local official with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement serves as a pastor.